YouTube, this is Vargas XX78 with another Overwheels collection pickup video. These last 2 weeks have not necessarily been good, but as far as pickups go, but I was able to pick up some movies and some other stuff, so let's get started. First off, this lady that I visited on the weekend sells a lot of random stuff. She gets stuff like from Goodwill and other places, and she sells them at a really good price. So, from that lady, I picked up this Simpsons trading card game, Mr. Burns theme deck, and it's basically, like all those trading card games that they have this theme and everything. And this one is entirely Mr. Burns. Anything that has to do with Mr. Burns, this deck has it. And you have the Mr. Burns character card with a, I don't know if you'll be able to make it out, but it has this shiny look to it. And then again, like in most trading card games, you have these character cards with special abilities. I don't really know how to play this thing. The Simpsons trading card game kind of went past me, so I never got into it. But yeah, I never actually picked up one of these decks until now, and which is kind of weird because I'm a huge Simpson collector, and it's kind of weird that I didn't get into this before. But I saw it at a good price. She gave it to me for like 5 pesos, which is again under 50 cents. And it has, Mr. Burns, Burnsy, and it has these location cards like Burns's Manor, Burns' office, Springfield Town Hall. And it has, other character cards that are themed with the power plant, like Carl Carlson, Chief Wiggum. I don't know what he has to do with the power plant, but Kearney's in there for some reason. Lenny, Major Quimby, Officer Lou, Snake, and you can't have Mr. Burns without his faithful lackey, Smithers. And it has the checklist. And 2 cards that weren't part of the set, but they were there, was Apu Nahasapina Petalon. Try saying that 3 times fast. And this Homer in Hullabalooza, where he takes the cannonball on the gut. Other thing I picked up, other than movies, was this Final Fantasy XII strategy guide from Brady Games. I was a little afraid of picking it up because I thought I had it, but it turns out I don't. And mentioned this before, not a big fan of strategy guides unless, it's as a collector's item. So I have the collector's edition of Final Fantasy XII. I decided to pick up the strategy guide, but it does come with that little map thing that most of these strategy guides come with. So I thought that was a good deal, and like I said, completes the collection of the game and the strategy guide. On to the movies, which is the biggest part of the video. Picked up the Walt Disney Gold Collection Robin Hood DVD. Robin Hood, I feel, is one of those overlooked Disney gems. I personally really like the animated Robin Hood. I think all the characters are fun. King John is is this measly little lion that reminds me actually of Scar. And Little John is basically just Baloo from a Jungle Book. The Jungle Book with a different color. I think even the same voice actor does his voice. But I still like it. Really good Disney movie. Picked up Employee of the Month, which is this independent movie. It's basically a dark comedy. It's about this guy that works at a bank and he gets fired, so he organizes this bank heist. But it stars Christina Applegate, Kelly Bundy from Married with Children. So, and I sort of was watching it on cable. I didn't get to finish seeing how it all ends. So I decided, why not? Let's pick it up. It's not necessarily great, and it's not necessarily bad. It's somewhere in the middle. It's not really funny. It's not really, you know, bad. But I don't know. It's one of those weird movies. But I got it for 5 pesos, so I don't feel too bad that it's not great. Picked up this Keanu Reeves unauthorized Journey to Success documentary. Basically, it's a documentary on the career of Keanu Reeves. This disc actually came out when The Matrix hit theaters, because it does have the red carpet interviews with the whole cast. And, it talks about him, how he was, in Bill and Ted's Excellent Venture, Point Break, Speed, Dracula, and now in The Matrix. So it's an interesting. I actually like these kind of documentaries because it's an interesting look into the career of an actor. So that one was actually good. Also for 5 pesos, I got the best of the Chris Rock show. It has a lot. It's an hour-long DVD, and it has a lot of sketches from his from the Chris Rock show. Some of them are really funny. Some of them are not. But it was good. It was a good price, so I decided to pick it up. Now this one, the next one is really really awesome. It's the DVD of Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker. But this is actually the one I've been trying to track down because it's the original uncut version. I've seen the edited version, where spoiler alert, where the Joker dies because he gets electrocuted. In this one's a little more hardcore because Tim Drake actually shoots the Joker and kills him. So the death of the Joker is actually handled differently in the edited version and this uncut version. So I was trying to track down the uncut version more, because it's just better. And the animation in this movie is awesome. Mark Hamill does a great Joker again. And the thing I love most about the Batman animated series, it has a sense of progression. The first 3 seasons had Batman, established all the characters and everything. By season 4, Dick Grayson leaves the team, becomes Nightwing. They get Tim Drake. Barbara Gordon is spending more time with Batman, and all his villains get a lot really really dark during the 4th season. Then they came out with Batman Beyond, so Bruce Wayne is old, and Gotham doesn't have a Batman, so Terry McGinnis comes into play. I mean, I really really like that whole progression on the Batman animated series, and this one is really cool because they bring into conflict Batman's greatest enemy against the new Batman, and I thought that was really really cool. And actually, the last battle between Batman and the Joker is really really epic on this one, to the point where the Joker actually finds out who Batman really is, and his monologue in that scene is really really cool. So I'm really really happy I got this Batman movie because it's just really awesome. Also picked up this double feature DVD that contains The Blind Swordsman, Satoh Ichi. It's basically about this blind samurai that kicks ass. He's a really badass samurai, and he's trying to protect this village that is threatened by thieves. Really, really cool movie. And the double feature also comes with Sonatin, yeah, something like that. And it's basically about these Japanese mafia guys. That this guy is like the head boss guy, but he works under another guy, and the other guy wants to off him, so he's planning revenge. It's a really really good movie, but I have a thing for samurai movies, so I liked Satoh Ichi better. Picked up the complete first season of Castle. I got really late into this series. I started watching it like in the middle of the 2nd season, and I really liked the relationship between Castle and Agent Bennett. So I went to an Overwheels, and they had this 3-disc set for 30 pesos, which is a little under $3. And I really ended up liking this series a lot. Really, really like it. And I hope the guy that plays Castle gets to play Nathan Drake in the movie, because I think he would be awesome as Nathan Drake. Target had a sale on Blu-rays, and the one I picked up is X-Men Origins Wolverine. Hugh Jackman is still a kick-ass Wolverine. He's really great in this movie, and he got really pumped up on this one. I mean, you see him coming out of the vat with, veins popping out, and he does a really kick-ass job in this movie. A lot of people don't like it. At least a lot of my comic book friends don't like it. But I did like this movie, even though it kind of messes up with continuity within the X-Men movies, and it basically takes a dump on Deadpool. I mean, I remember that they were, the comic books they were saying that Deadpool was gonna make his big triumphant introduction in this movie, and what we got was basically like around under 10 minutes of Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, and then at the end of the movie, the main thing that makes Deadpool Deadpool is that he's always yapping, and they sew his mouth closed, and I don't know. I was really disappointed with what they did with Deadpool. As far as the movie itself, I liked it. I like Wolverine Origin, so even though with First Class, this movie basically doesn't exist, since X-Men First Class basically rewrites history and this movie no longer applies. But I still liked it. Really good movie. Picked up the 20th anniversary special edition of National Lampoon's Vacation with a really epic cover there. It's the best cover I've seen for this movie. Basically, it's a story about the Griswold family that travels from Chicago to California to visit this Disney-like park called Wally World. And anything that could go wrong in a family trip happens in this movie. So by the end of the movie, the dad basically loses it. He really, really loses it. He breaks into the park, takes a security guard hostage, and, gets on every ride with his family. It's just a really, really good movie. It has a lot of movies in the Vacation series, but the other one I'm trying to track down is Christmas Vacation. Really liked Christmas Vacation a lot. Picked up the Jim Carrey movie Bruce Almighty from the director of Liar Liar and starring Jim Carrey. Basically, in this movie, God, played by Morgan Freeman, gives all of his powers to the Jim Carrey character, and he's doing all these crazy things because he's God, and he realizes that being God is not all it's cracked up to be. But it's a really funny movie. I really liked Bruce Almighty. Didn't much care for the sequel, Evan Almighty, but Bruce was really cool. And the last movie I picked up is The Neverending Story, Part 2, the next chapter. Visually, this movie is really cool. I like the visuals in the movie, but as far as the movie itself, I like the first one a lot better. The first one was really, really cool. And this one just, I don't know, it didn't feel, it has all the characters, but it didn't feel like the sequel, if that makes any sense. I don't know, it has a lot of elements that I like, but the movie in the whole is just not necessarily that good. Actually, if you could track it down, I would suggest you watch the Nostalgia Critic's review of this movie. He points out a lot of the faults that this movie has in a way better, way that I could do. But, at least the visuals are cool. I like that. So, yeah, that was the pickup video. I actually wanted it to be short, but it ended up being longer than I thought. But, like always, I like to make a recommendation on one of the pickups I got. And I'm going to go with Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker. Even if you're not a Batman fan, even if you haven't seen the cartoons, you gotta watch this movie because it is really cool. The animation is top notch, the voice acting is awesome, and the story will blow you away. So I'm going to go with Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker. So yeah, that was the video, guys. Like always, thanks so much for watching, and until I see you again, this is Vargas XX78. Signing off.